I have a fun art journal page that I'm going to do today. It's something that I did back in 2023, and it's perfect for the new year. It does a little bit of self-reflection on things that you want to embrace and things that you want to release. So it's perfect for anybody that's looking into stepping into a new year with a fresh start. You can use any kind of supplies you have. I'm going to be using mostly paint with this one. You will need some sort of a writing utensil because we're going to be tracing on our hands. But other than that, this is a perfect opportunity to get a fresh start going in to the new year. So grab some supplies and let's get started. Now the first thing I'm going to do is use a 2B pencil and trace the outline of my hand. And I'm going to do this very lightly, that way if I do make a mistake or if I have something I want to adjust, then I can erase it easily. Now doing your non-dominant hand is a little bit trickier, but you still want to work very light, and if you have to overlap onto the other page a little bit, it's not a big deal. Now it's time to start adding paint. I'm going to be using a blush pink by DecoArt, which is one of my favorite colors from last year, and I'm also going to use this medium round tip paintbrush. The key here is to really load up the paintbrush, and then if you notice, I'm working with the edge of my paintbrush pointed out towards the outline, and that way I get a nice clean line and a clean edge. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to be adding another layer of paint for the background as well as doing an outline. So whatever you can get for your edges, if they're clean, great. If not, it's not a big deal because we will add stuff to it later and we can make them more perfect. You'll also notice that I'm lifting the page here a little bit so that I can get paint on the bottom without it transferring onto the pages underneath. You can also use a scrap piece of paper. I just didn't want to do that at this time because I wanted to do it nice and quick. For the other side, I'm going to actually use my blush pink for the background. So instead of painting in the hand, I'm painting all of the area around it. And I just kind of like how this does a little play on positive and negative space, and you get that kind of contrast. And it's just a really fun visual when you're done with it. I did have to switch to this much thinner paintbrush for the insides of my fingers so that I can get that line in there a little bit nicer than I could with my other brush. Now I'm going to go in with my Martha Stewart Copper Metallic, and this is going to be the background of the left side as well as the inside of the right side. And I'm using the metallic because I think it's going to be a really fun pop of color, and that shine is going to really go well with the blush pink. And so you'll see when I'm done, these two colors are going to look great together. Now I did decide to add a blank page here that I could get some paint on, mostly because this page has a lot of background and I don't want it to warp by holding it up and trying to paint on top of it. Once your paint is dry, then you can go in and outline with any kind of marker you have. I'm going to use this white Posca marker because it has excellent coverage and dries quickly, and it gives you that nice clean line. This is also a really good opportunity to clean up any areas that are a little bumpy or that maybe didn't turn out as nicely as you wanted with the paint part. So it's nice to make both of your hands kind of pop and stand out from the background, as well as give you the opportunity to kind of clean things up. Now that the outline is done, I'm going to go in with a little bit of black acrylic paint and that tiny paintbrush. That way I can get some nice like brush script lettering in here for the words embrace on the left side and release on the right side. Now, the release side was going so much better than the embrace side until I spelled the word release wrong. So I'm going to show you how I actually go back with paint and fix this. I tried initially just going and turning the C into an S, and that didn't work. So I let everything dry. I went back in with some white paint to kind of cover up the black areas that I didn't want to show anymore. I let that dry completely as well, which does take a couple minutes because it is acrylic. And then I went back over the top of it with that background copper metallic paint. So this just kind of gives you a back to base. And then once that layer is dry, then I went back in with my black paint and my tiny paintbrush, and I went back over and spelled the word correctly this time with my S instead of my C. And once this is dry, you can't even tell that I messed up. So that's a quick little way for you guys to fix any mistakes you might have with acrylic paint. For the rest of the words, I'm actually going to use a black permanent marker, partly because I don't want to have any more mistakes, and also the space is a little bit smaller. And so I'm going to go back to just like my handwriting, fine print here, and put in the words that I want to use for the things that I want to embrace, as well as the things that I want to release in the new year. Now I'm going to go in with my white Posca marker again, and I'm going to add some embellishments around the word embrace and release. Around embrace, I'm going to do these kind of like loopy, half floral things, just to kind of help add some decorative aspects to this side and give it more of like a positive feel. On the release side, I'm going to keep it a little simpler, and I'm going to go with these dash lines that kind of emanate out from the word and arc around some of the letters. And I think it just really gives that vibe of releasing something. As a finishing touch, I did add dotted and dashed outlines with my white Posca marker, and I think that this is the perfect amount of like decoration in the background without it being too much or taking over. So it really just accentuates everything that I did, and I think it turned out great. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. As you can see, we have our finished art journal spread on things that we want to embrace or release for the new year. I hope that yours turned out just as rewarding as mine did, and I hope that you really got something out of this self-reflection. If you did, please let me know in the comments below. Give me a like, give me a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe so you get all of my new content as I release it weekly. And until next time, I'm Lindsay with the Creative Arrow, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.